Highland County, also known as Virginia's Little Switzerland, is famous for its annual maple syrup festival. In this video, we share tips on the best farms to visit, where to buy the tastiest maple syrup, and show footage from a real old-fashioned sugar house where an owner of a local farm talks about the maple syrup production process while making maple syrup using the traditional kettle oven method.
Highland County is located in the western part of Virginia, bordering West Virginia, and is the southernmost commercial maple syrup producing area in the United States. The county organizes the Maple Syrup Festival each year, and it is held on the second and third weekend of March. We highly recommend visiting the festival during its first days because certain farms that make the best maple syrup get sold out real fast. The county posts a map of the festival, and we included the link in the description to their website. There are about 10 maple syrup farms that typically participate in the festival. The map tells what kind of products they sell in addition to maple syrup.
Maple syrup is made of sugar maple tree sap, the old-fashioned way of collecting the maple tree sap used using buckets. A good tree can produce 5 gallons or 19 liters of sugar water in 12 hours. The sugar water is made up of approximately 98% water and 2% sugar. The second popular method of tapping is using miles of plastic tubing that is attached to maple trees. Farms typically have vacuum pumps that increase the flow of sugar water from the trees. Maple syrup is graded in shades of amber colors. Lighter amber syrup is made early in the season, while dark amber syrup is made much later on and has deep, rich flavor.
After the collection process is over, most modernized farms use advanced computerized oil-fired evaporators, such as these. Likewise, there is a traditional method which uses an open-pan wood-fired evaporator, such as this one. Either of these evaporators concentrates maple sugar by evaporating water until the content of sugar reaches around 66.5%, while the rest is water. However, the traditional method is very laborious and requires constant attention for days. After the open pan evaporator stage is over, the traditional method uses iron kettles to finalize maple syrup production. It takes 40 gallons of sugar water to make 1 gallon of maple syrup.
One of the farms we visited was Duff's Sugar House, which uses traditional methods of tapping and production of maple syrup. The farm is located in the town of Monterey. If you're interested in checking out how maple syrup was made back in the old days, this is one of the best places to get such an experience. Duff's is a small family-run sugar house where the owner offers a hands-on tour with explanations of the maple syrup production, while tending to his wood-fired pan. The worker's job here is to constantly keep the evaporator fired and to remove the foaming on the top of the boiling maple sugar water in a room full of steam. This way the sugar is concentrated while water is being evaporated. Here's what Tim Duff had to say about this process.
This is terrible weather. The sun is out, there's probably birds in the field singing and all. You want a nice cold morning, cold day. When I came out here this morning, lit the fire, got the steam going, this whole room was filled with steam, which it still is. But your eye doesn't pick up on it because the atmospheric pressure is acting funny. But there's a ton of steam in this room. You just don't see it. You see a little bit up here, but it's all, this is all nothing but moisture. So all the moisture that goes up is pure water, leaving the sugar in the pan. So more sugar water is coming in, more water is going up, more sugar is being left. And then by tomorrow night at midnight, this tank will be empty. There'll be 20 gallons left in the pan, about that deep. We'll take the 20 gallons off, put it over there in the kettle, cook it, boil it there for another 5 to 6 hours in a very controlled environment, and we will make about 3 gallons of maple syrup.
Mr. Duff also explains how tapping maple trees does not damage them if you do it right.
You're not damaging the tree, you're just piercing the cambium layer of the tree, just under the bark. That's where all the capillaries are, pulling water up and down.
And you have to make a new hole each year.
Yep, and the tree will heal itself up. So if this were this year's hole, it would heal up. You come left or right a couple of inches, up and down a couple. So you're just doing this around the tree. And the boil is good. I just opened the door. So the boil is only here now. It's trying to come back here. I need it to come back up here, which I added some air to it when I hit the logs. Give it 3 or 4 minutes. We'll have a boil here, back to here. Now it's stretching. Heating the water, and it's trying to explode, making steam. It's being suppressed by the foam. It's like a quilt on your bed. So what we're going to do is take the quilt off to let the boil really come to life. And when it does, it increases the rate of evaporation, which means I'll get to bed a little bit sooner tonight. At least 15 minutes sooner. In another couple hours, because there's so much sugar in the water, that the foam is picking up the sugar, but again, it's suppressing, it's pushing down. Now we got to boil there. See?
Yeah.
So as old-fashioned as we are, we can force the heat to do what we want it to do if you just know what you're doing. It's just little tiny tricks.
We were told that Duff's Sugar House produces some of the best maple syrup in Highland County using traditional methods. Unfortunately, the farm produces syrup in small batches and it was sold out by the time we were there during the second week of the festival.
The other place on our list was Back Creek Farms, which is a fifth-generation maple syrup business. The farm utilizes traditional methods of maple syrup production. They also create infusions and barrel-aged varieties of maple syrup. This farm is located at the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains in a beautiful setting along Back Creek. Folks at Duff's Sugar House recommended getting maple syrup from this farm for their traditional methods and rich flavor, which was the closest flavor to theirs. We were specifically interested in the darker syrup to experience a strong maple flavor. The taste of this Grade B dark syrup we bought was outstanding, with hints of dulce de leche caramel. This dark syrup is something that we look forward to trying again the next time we visit Highland County's Maple Syrup Festival.
As you drive through Highland County, enjoy the beautiful rolling hill rural scenery. The area is extremely picturesque and idyllic and takes you back to what countryside living and hospitality used to be a long time ago. On the way, we saw many cows grazing in the distance in the mountain setting. We also saw this herd of skittish sheep in one of the farms.
Another place we visited was Tonalaway Farm, located in the town of McDowell. The owners are a young generation of farmers who started producing maple syrup in 2019 using a wood-fired method. The farm specializes in producing unique flavors such as walnut and hickory maple flavors. They mix walnut or hickory syrup with maple syrup. You can get a taste of these flavors at their farm store before making a purchase. We tried their products and we can tell that we have not tasted anything like this before.
We also visited Puffenbagger Sugar Orchard, which uses modern methods of tapping and production of maple syrup we talked about before. We were told that they produce great maple syrup. You can also get sandwiches, hot dogs and candy from their farm store. There were several other maple syrup farms that we didn't visit, but which are equally worth taking a look at if you have time, because some have great scenery and walking trails on the grounds in addition to maple products.
Be sure to visit Highland County during other seasons such as autumn, when the maple trees become bright and colorful. Check out our video on Highland County in fall by clicking the link above or in the video's description.
Leave a comment below on any thoughts or questions you have, and leave a like and subscribe to our channel to see more of our travel videos in the future.